What are some things that home buyers wish they knew before they purchased their first home? Number one on that list would be affordability and budgeting. Buyers often wish they had a clearer understanding of their budget and affordability. It's important to thoroughly assess your finances, including your income, your expenses, existing debts, to determine a realistic budget for purchasing a home. You can't just look at what your mortgage payment's going to be. You need to think about property taxes. You need to think about insurance and the fact that both of those are probably going to go up every year. You need to think about maintenance costs. How much is it going to cost you to mow the lawn? Do you have money to pay the utilities? Do you have money set aside if you're going to have to need a new roof or an HVAC? There's a lot of cost associated with buying a home and keeping a home. So that's very important, and most home buyers don't feel like they fully understood that when they went into buying their first home. The second is the pre-approval process. A lot of buyers wish they had understood the importance of getting pre-approved before going out and looking for a house. A lot of times people think that just means, oh, well, I talked to my lender, they pulled my credit, but getting a true pre-approval means you've turned that financial information into your lender. You've given them your pay stubs, you've given them bank statements, W-2s, tax returns. Sometimes you feel like you're going to have to give them blood to get approved. But if you provide all that information up front, let them fully underwrite it, then you're going to have a much more secure feeling that when you put that contract on a house, that you're actually going to get to close on that house. We got a lot of lenders that popped up in the past few years because the market was good. So you have people out here that don't have 20 years of experience, and they may be issuing pre-approvals when they shouldn't be. So make sure you're talking to a reputable lender and get pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. Third thing that buyers wish they had known more about was the home inspection process. And a lot of first-time buyers underestimate the significance of the home inspection, and they don't read through it. They get intimidated by it, or, okay, well, we can deal with all that stuff when we get into the house. But you need to look at your home inspection report. You need to look for those red flags, because once you sign off on that inspection and move forward, you can't get your money back at that point. So understand the home inspection process. Talk to your agent about whether or not it's a repair that you want to negotiate or one that's a red flag and you need to turn around and run. Fourth thing, buyers don't think about their future needs and their resale value. And so a lot of first-time home buyers, especially in a competitive market, they're just trying to get into a house, and they're not thinking about, okay, well, we've got one kid, what are we going to do if we have the second kid and they're in a 2-bedroom house? Or you have a dedicated office because one of you work from home, you've got another child now, where are you going to put the crib? So you have to think about those things, and you need to think about the resale value of the house. If you do some crazy DIY or some crazy decorating, how is that going to affect the resale of your home in the future? You need to think about the school district you're buying in, how close you are to any amenities in the area. All those things factor in. I know that when I was out showing home to a single mom, and she had 2 little kids, and she was looking at a split foyer house, and she just loved it, just loved that house. Well, the problem with the split foyer is your garage is in the basement, and then your kitchen's up here, and so you're actually going up like 2 sets of stairs to get from the garage to the kitchen. And the way the house was situated, there was no real good way to pull up to the front door to unload that stuff. So I told her, she's just loving the way the inside of this house looked. And I said, let's stop and think for a minute. And she said, okay. I said, you just went to the grocery store and you've come home and you've got a trunk full of groceries and 2 small children. How you getting them groceries and them kids in the house? And she stood there and she's thinking about it. And it's like the light bulb come on. She was like, that would be a nightmare. And I said, yeah, it will be a nightmare for you every time you go to the grocery store. So you probably need something that's more of a 1-level rancher kind of a house. Some people, a split foyer is great. Like if you don't have small children and you're not worried about bringing groceries in and going up those stairs. But it's also a consideration that you need to think about for your particular situation. The fifth thing that buyers wish they had thought about were the closing cost and additional expenses. The lender's going to give you a closing cost estimate when you go talk to them, but that's not written in stone. Those costs can change based on the house that you buy. Older homes may have higher insurance premiums. The distance that you are to a fire hydrant will affect your insurance premium. Whether you're serviced by a volunteer fire department or an actual city fire department is going to affect your insurance rate. So there's a lot of things that the buyers just really didn't think about up front. They're thinking, well, I'm getting 100% mortgage, so I don't have to make any payments out of my pocket. Well, you're still going to have to pay the earnest money. You're going to have to pay for a home inspection. There are little things that you're going to have to pay along the way. So it's important that buyers budget for those and they think about that cost before they go out and put a contract on a house. But if you have a good understanding of all those things and you're working with a good realtor, then making your first home purchase can be a very exciting experience for most people. Make sure that you research the local housing market. You're talking to the professionals that can help guide you along the way. If you're looking for a realtor to help guide you through the home buying process, leave a comment or send me a DM.